Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It has been a very long time since you've heard my voice. Roughly 6 months ago when I did the daily stream on GT Sport, and here we are back on GT Sport. Today's going to be a bit of a different video. Let's talk supercars. Now I was going to do a series this year, but I've decided not to due to personal reasons. But every now and then I might do a little thing, see how we go. But today we're going to be discussing, well, I'm going to be discussing Gen 3 and the great paddle shift debate that's happening. Because there's been a lot of talks going on so far in recent times. Now, I decided to do some multitasking in this video. One, this is going to be unedited, hopefully. But I'm also going to be driving this beautiful Mustang around Mount Panorama. Did I damage that? Well, we're just going to ignore it. Okay, well, never mind about the editing part, as we've already failed. But look how glorious the Mustang looks now. We're using James Courtney's livery. It's a beautiful livery. And there's Senna's helmet as well. So anyway, we're just going to talk and drive, basically. So if you see any bad driving, that's just because I simply cannot multitask. But anyway, let's get straight into it. We're just going to go for some cruising laps. And by the way, this is nothing intense in terms of lap times. Anyway, so let's get talking, I suppose. So yeah, Gen 3. Supercars have announced, I think last week, I can't remember, they announced that they have delayed the introduction to Gen 3 for August 2022. Yeah, which means a mid-year rollout, which in my opinion, now disclaimer, before I get into this, I am just a casual fan, a casual hardcore fan I could say. Basically, I'm not very smart when it comes to the technical side of things and the mechanical side of things, but everywhere else I'm okay with. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. In my opinion, delaying Gen 3 into August 2022, aka mid-year rollout, is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my entire life. Now, the reason for that, and I'm not the only one saying this, as I have seen even drivers complain, and I will get into that as well, it's just stupid, because if one, they're going to rush it, and that's one thing you don't want when you're introducing new regulations, new cars and all that, especially with the Camaro Mustang. You don't want to rush Gen 3. If you want it to be good and perfect, just let it take its time. Obviously, they haven't learned from the Mustang, the current Mustang now, because we all know how that turned out. They rushed into building, like, releasing the Mustang for supercars when the regulations aren't the ideal for the Mustang. And obviously that shows when you put a two-door car onto a four-door car chassis. Where that's one reason why I'm very hesitant on rushing into Gen 3, because in my opinion, in order for it to be perfect, just let it take its time. I don't care how long it takes. What am I saying? Just be careful with it, really. Another reason why mid-year rollout is stupid. Before I get into that part, Formula One, now, when COVID hit, because obviously you'll may be aware that their next gen cars were meant to be used this year, but then they delayed it to next year because of COVID and all that. And obviously they're not rushing into it because, one, it's a very big change. And this goes for supercars as well. Very big change, changing from an old car to a new car that is entirely different to the current one they're using. So Formula One obviously is not rushing into it, and they did the smart thing by delaying it for the following year. The start of the following year, keep in mind. Now, that leads on to my second reason. Simply, if we have a mid-year rollout, let's say if it all goes ahead, the supercar season for 2022 starts off, everyone has Mustangs and ZBs with the 4-door chassis, and everyone is comfortable and all that, and then suddenly comes the Gen 3 and everyone has to, in a way, learn how to drive again. They're basically starting off from scratch, except their points and all that will stay the same. And James Courtney, I think I saw on Speed Cafe, I didn't actually read the article, but I saw the headline. Yeah, I'm good. James Courtney said that it's like, I did read the article actually, what am I saying? James Courtney, I think, mentioned how it's like teaching football players how to play rugby midway, or something like that. Basically, you're basically trying to tame a whole new monster, and like midway into a season, and that's just stupid because that could have great effect to the championship standings. Now that's not all a bad thing, but it's a bit unfair because it's just one of those stupid things, really. It's best to start from scratch at the start of the season, where everyone is starting from zero, and they can just work out their. Because what if right, they encounter problems with Gen 3, and like for example BJR, they were having a really good season, and then they go to Gen 3 and they're struggling big time. That's not fair on them. I'm sure people would rather either win championships or lose championships on their own terms, not because of a stupid rule introduction or something like that. I'm just rambling on, to be honest. I don't actually know what I'm saying now. But anyway, that's my opinion on the fact on Gen 3 being delayed for a mid-year start. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. It'll be cool to start a discussion. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because surely I'm not the only one. And anyway, the paddle shift debate. Let's get into that. Now, there's a lot of people saying yes, a lot of people saying no. More people saying no, I think, than yes, though. I personally say no to the paddle shifts. Now the car I'm driving now is paddle shift, but it's a GT3. It's a GT3 Mustang. It's a mark car, basically. Oh, that didn't happen. It's, in my opinion, now obviously you can tell this is raw footage. In my opinion, paddle shifts are designed for open wheelers and GT3s / Le Mans cars. That's it. Not muscle cars. Not the supercar. Now the V8 supercar has always been a sedan touring car. TCR also has paddle shifts, but that's not really an issue. Because they're front wheel drives and all that, because they've got all the assists and all that. But supercars, ever since the beginning, has always had a manual gearbox, and no assists. Right? That's what it's a formula that should not be touched. Ooh, ran a bit wide there. It's a formula that should not be touched. Why, if it ain't broke, why fix it? It's one of those things. It's quicker. It will make the supercars much quicker than they are now. But you lose the fun factor in that. It's one of those quality over quantity sort of thing. Quantity, in this instance, is the speed and the lap times, whereas the quality is the fun factor. And because not only does supercars need to be fun for the drivers, it needs to be fun for the fans as well. And with paddle shifts, you kind of lose that human side of it, I guess you could say. So, because sometimes a driver can miss a gear or slip the clutch a bit, and it could affect the race. Now, obviously, that probably is that's irrelevant, but I'm losing focus here. Yes, that's irrelevant, but you won't see that, because sometimes that could actually affect the race and make it a little bit more exciting, whereas paddle shifts, that won't happen. But it's in my opinion, in order for supercars to move forward, they need to go backwards a bit. Well, in this case, anyway, they need to stay with the sequential gearbox. I feel like, in my opinion, it's one of the best things they've ever done, is have the sequential gearbox. It's just, every time you see a V8 supercar, you think of that. Well, sorry, when you see a sequential gearbox, you think of a V8 supercar. And I love the onboards of, for example, Shane Van Gisbergen using the gear stick, changing the roll bars and the bias all at the same time. If we go to paddle shifts, you won't see that. It'll basically be just a Saturday drive for them, I feel. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. But personally, in my opinion, just leave the paddle shifts for the Formula cars and GTs. Supercars are not designed for paddle shifts. It's silly. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Apologise if this video is a bit random and I'm all over the shop. I'm just trying something new. Don't know if it works, but you know, there's only one way of knowing. But yeah, overall, Gen 3 should be rolled out at the start of 2023 with no paddle shifts. That's in my opinion. Because I'm worried that if they do that, they will lose a lot of fans. Because in order for supercars to move forward and be exciting, they need to listen to the fans. Right? The supercars, if you're watching, please listen to us. And always remember that going faster is not always the most exciting way. A good example is Formula 1 at the moment. There was a regulation change, I can't remember what, but Formula 1, basically the Formula 1 cars this year is slower than last year's, and you know, I'm not saying this is the immediate cause of it, but this season in Formula 1 is very exciting. The fact that we've finally got a championship battle on our hands, the fact that Lewis Hamilton isn't leading the season, so at this point, is really exciting, and I cannot wait to continue for it to continue. And so, and obviously they are listening to the fans somewhat, and I feel like supercars should do the same. because you guys really need to focus on what makes a racing car and a racing event exciting. Because that I have seen people complain. Now, yes, the supercar, yes, the drivers are all close together. Everyone's within a second in qualifying, but some races can be boring. I guess like that's like Formula One as well. But anyway, I'm just rambling on. I'm rambling on. Let me know what you guys think of about Gen 3 and the paddle shifts down below, and let me know if you guys want me to make more of these sort of videos. Let me know if you like the multitask formula of the Let's Talk and Drive. I don't mind it. I still need to get a little bit more confident with the speaking and multitasking. So yes, as my car rolls back, yes, I did edit then. I did say I wasn't going to, but I did before, at the start, so that's my excuse. 203, it's not too bad with a standard setup. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, I'm getting carried away. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Gen 3 being delayed until 2022, mid-year 2022, and let me know what you guys think of the paddle shift. Yeah, this is just, now, don't take this, whatever I say in this video, don't take it to heart. It is just my opinion at the end of the day. Everyone's entitled to it. Yeah, if you want to see more of these videos, let me know down below. Let me know if you like this sort of formula of the Let's Talk and Drive and the raw, whatever comes to mind sort of thing. I'm not the best speaker in the world, so you do have to bear with me, but that's just, yeah. I'm rambling on, okay? So yeah, if you enjoy this, like that, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more. So yeah, see you guys.